Everybody, how's it going? This is Errol E, and welcome to another edition of Every Moment with Errol E. Now, today I have a special guest, and his name is Nate Davis. He is a great friend of mine. We went to Wilmington University together. We've been great friends together. A lot of interesting things. I don't really have a script for this one, so it's going to be shooting the breeze real quick. So my friend Nate Davis, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I really appreciate this. It
Man,
was great for you to come and interview me, and I'm willing to share my experiences.
awesome, man. Thank you. So, before I
All right.
begin, how you doing today, man? How you doing today?
Oh, I'm blessed, man. So many things I could tell you about just being blessed and having a family, and just so many things that just looking back at our life from Wilmington University, how much we've grown and knowing each other as like brothers. So I'm just blessed to be here, and man, and just so many opportunities that are coming up in my life. I would like to share. So
Oh yeah, definitely. So, let's take a trip back, to memory lane.
okay.
Back at Wilmington University, gosh, how long? Ooh, how long
Hmm.
ago was that? When did we first met? I know it
It
was
was
in the
like
College of Technology area. I know I
right,
was going
right.
to
I tech.
school. Yep, in
Mm-hmm.
ITAC. Yes, not College of
The I tech,
Technology, but
right.
ITAC. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. That was
So
what. Yep.
I remember you was the
Mm-hmm.
proctor there. I was a student there. I didn't become a proctor yet, but
Right.
I think I was I want to say either a freshman or sophomore.
I would say that.
So,
Yeah. Freshman or
so,
sophomore.
so that would have either been in '05 or '06.
I think that was probably in '05. I shortly came from New York back then. It was like I was brand new to Delaware, brand new to the area. I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any friends. And then when I started going to school in Wilmington at Wilmington University in
Right.
'06, I believe it was like '05 or '06, I believe. I'm not sure what year, but around that time. And I was brand new to the area, brand new to the location. I was an artist. I love to draw and illustrate and animate. And you were a photographer. I know you always
Hmm.
had a camera around your neck.
Yo, yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah, it was always taking pictures of everything.
Yep.
But you were cool. You were cool. Yeah. And I got the job at the iTech lab downstairs in the library. You guys know
Right.
where the library is at Wilmington University. It's always downstairs, like in the basement where we had to
Yep.
go underneath the ground.
Yep.
So it's kind of
Underneath
like
the
the
ground.
center.
No cell reception, no nothing. You had to go
No, nothing.
outside, everything.
Yep. Everything was outside. You had no reception, no cell phone, no internet, no nothing. Everything was like cut off from there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was different back then. It's some really good memories. So
Hmm.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, man. Yep.
So, like,
But
what was your degree in when you was going there?
my degree was in multimedia communications. I had a multi degree, so it basically if you know anything about the degree, graphic design degree is basically in photography, illustrations, web design, as well as print. So it covered all the bases. Which what was my degree. I have a bachelor's degree at Wilmington in 2009. I graduated.
Right.
So basically covered everything. But my specialty was in illustrations.
Hmm.
But I really focused on. I loved Photoshop programs. Illustrator is one of my favorites, and I like believe it or not, I like the print design.
Hmm.
Quark, and I learned Quark and
Work,
other
yeah.
programs like InDesign. I learned that on my own. So yeah, I think those were great programs for me.
So when it
Hmm.
comes to the designing aspect, right? What got you
Right.
interested in drawing? Like, did you draw as a kid? Did it come naturally? Were you trained? Did you go to school? Like,
Oh yeah.
how did that all come about?
Well, it all started off when I was 5 years old. I actually used to watch cartoons all the time, and Looney Tunes, from Bugs Bunny, the Tasmanian Devil, to Batman, to Superman, Spider-Man, all the favorite cartoons you can think of.
Yeah.
Actuality, I started drawing when I was in church, and
Oh,
my
okay.
mom, yeah, my mom, because I was very hyperactive in
Hmm.
growing up and loud, and I made sound effects. I made all these cartoon noises and sound effects. My mom wanted me to be quiet in church and
Right.
learn how to
Right.
sit quietly. So she gave me a sheet of paper and a pencil and told me to be quiet and draw.
Mm.
And that's where I found the love to draw in church. So it kept me quiet, it kept me focused, and kept my imagination
Right. So
where it needs to go. Yeah.
do you feel that was like a blessing, or like that was like your first instance of that's like your true calling in life, to maybe be an artist, a sketch person, something like that?
I think it was a blessing. I definitely think it was a blessing. It was a natural gift that I didn't know I had at that time. When being so young, being like 5 years old, I started drawing cartoons. I watched Disney. Walt Disney like was my favorite, like especially Beauty and the Beast,
Mm-hmm.
those movies, classic movies like The Little Mermaid,
Yep.
um, Pinocchio, all those cartoons that were very highly animated with colorful colors and shapes and designs caught my eye. And
Right.
the storyline was really what made it stand out the most to me.
Mm.
Because I'm a storyteller too. Most people don't know, but I love stories. I love illustrations and cartoons. It's all in my head.
Yeah.
So I really felt like, wow, this is something I can express myself
Right. That's
with. Hmm.
awesome. So like
Yeah.
so once you started like drawing as a kid,
Hmm.
how did you like really enhance your drawing? Like, did you ask like mom and dad to go to like art classes? Did you have like a art teacher that inspired you? Like, how did that
Well,
love for art really blossom in the technique?
well, it's interesting you asked that, because it started off like I said, it started off with the love of expression. I had a lot of most people don't really realize that I I couldn't read that well when I was
Hmm.
in school, and so how I learned how to read, I learned how through pictures and through words. I realized that the like comic books and illustrations taught a story to me, so I can
Right.
understand what's going on. And there's more ways to understanding and learning than just reading. You can learn. I'm a visual learner, so
Hmm.
everything I see is like a picture. I take a snapshot of it, and it's in my brain,
Right.
and I just learn how to duplicate it by watching it, watching patterns and watching shapes and colors. So, just like sort of like in photography, you take a picture and you got the picture in your phone or on your camera, and you
Right.
develop the film. You It's like a duplicate of the original. So you
Hmm.
always have the original as a reference. So,
True.
how I really gained to love art is when there was no like I guess there was art teachers in high school that helped me along the way.
Right.
But personally came up to me was like, hey, look, you have a talent. I think you should. My mom and dad encouraged me.
Hmm.
My mom and dad definitely encouraged me to pursue it
Right.
further along. But no art teachers really came up to me was like, hey, look, I see ability and talent. They thought I was talented, but um, back in the day, I'm 37, but back in the day, you know, I didn't like school.
Right.
So, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like school at all, and
Why?
because I didn't get it. Why?
Yeah.
It's just because I had a lot of teachers who doubted me. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, in high school, a lot of teachers doubted me, and they thought I wasn't smart enough to go to college, because I have a learning disability. I have
Right.
dyslexia. Um, which, if you know what dyslexia is, I don't know if you know what
Hmm.
that is, but it switches the brain switches off to like it inverts the words. When I like if I read the sign that says stop sign, I read it
Yep.
backwards. instead of STOP, it says
Like
P
pots.
O. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah, I know like
exactly
Tom
what.
Cruise had that.
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise. Yeah, he grew up with that too.
Mhm. So I had a lot of teachers thought I wasn't. They actually told my parents I wasn't smart enough to go to college. And actually didn't believe in me. So high school was really, I was fighting against a lot back then.
Mm.
So I overcame a lot.
Right. I mean, that's, what's actually good about that? Your parents didn't agree with those teachers and you didn't agree with those teachers. That's like a good thing because, some people
That
will
is
be like, well, if they say I'm not good,
right.
maybe I'm not. So you overcame that. Your parents overcame that.
Right.
One thing that kind of shocks me is like, if you're a teacher,
Mhm.
you're teaching the future. Why crush
Right.
someone's dreams, someone's hopes, someone's ambitions,
Right.
like that? Like,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
know.
get it.
I know. It's crazy because now I'm teaching kids with kids with disabilities,
Right,
and that's another passion I love. Because I was there. I was there with them, learning my own way how to learn. Because
right,
back then, we don't have the technology we have then, like now.
true,
So it's different now. So there's other ways of learning. There's other methods of learning. Back then, it was only taught one way,
right,
and if you didn't learn that way, it was like you're just put in special education. That's where you belong. You're
right,
forgotten about. A lot of times you're forgotten about. So, but just because I was in special ed doesn't mean that I couldn't go to college.
right,
So I had to prove them wrong. My mom was like, "You're going to college. Everyone in the Nuss family is going to college, and I'm not giving up on you
right,
just because you learn differently." And that's it. That's the way God made you.
true,
So nothing was really wrong with me. It was just something was wrong with the teachers because they didn't know how to teach me.
right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And
Mhm.
with like that, like with um dyslexia.
Mhm.
Maybe they didn't know about dyslexia or how to really teach kids with dyslexia. But now we have technology, we have programs, and people are speaking
Right.
out if they have dyslexia. And it's not a bad
Mhm.
thing. It's just you got to alter the way to teach somebody.
Exactly. Exactly. And that brings it back to illustrations and drawings.
Mm-hmm.
That helped me learn how to read.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, I associate the pictures with the words, so it helped
Mm-hmm.
me learn how to read. And in a way, I kind of self-taught myself how to read.
Right.
In a way, even though the teachers did help me when I was in special ed,
Uh-huh.
they I used pictures and drawings, so I would draw maybe like look like a stop sign, and I
Mm-hmm.
associate okay that looks like a stop sign. Every time I see the stop sign, it's an octagon shape and it's
Right.
red and white letters, and I can draw it out myself and visualize it. It's a
Mm-hmm.
stop sign.
Yep.
So in memorization, I relied on my memory to
Right.
help me learn how to read. Help me learn how to read.
Yeah, and
You know? Yeah.
now that you mentioned that, it something just hit me. It was you
Hmm.
mentioned with shapes and drawing. That's like I think probably one of our first like communication tools, like
Yeah.
being a
Yeah.
civilization. If you think about it, before
Hmm.
words, there was pictures in Egypt. All they had
Yeah.
was hieroglyphics and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Hieroglyphic cave drawings and
Hmm.
you know the paleolithic drawings like the where they sketch the stick figures and the buffalo drawings
Yep.
on the wall. If you look at the Mediterranean,
Hmm.
like the caves and stuff, you can see that. And even in Egypt, like you said, the hieroglyphics
Right.
where it talked about Pharaoh and the
Hmm.
sun god Ra, and it talked about all the different gods in Egypt. That's
Yep.
how they learn how to read through drawings. So that's how
Yes.
I learned how to read through drawings,
Yeah.
telling a story.
So, yeah, to tell a story. Everything in life is all about storytelling.
Yeah.
Um, so you graduated Wilmington University with your bachelor's degree in the multimedia design.
Yeah.
So what was that feeling like? Being able to say, hey,
Um,
I achieved this goal.
uh, man, it was amazing. I would say it was one like you ever see the movie Rocky,
Yep.
and you know the part where he jogs up on the it's like the I forget where it's at. It's in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia,
It's where
I think the museum, I
the
believe. Yeah.
museum, and then he jumps on the top of the building once he gets to the top
Yeah.
of the steps. That's how I felt like at that mountain when I was at the mountaintop, and I victoriously accomplished that goal, and it felt amazing because I didn't think I could do it
hmm
because I didn't have a lot of confidence in high school, and in
Right.
college I gained the confidence as soon as I finished each semester.
There you
But
go.
it put the push from my family, my mom, my dad. Well, my
Mm-hmm.
dad died in 2003, so that really made me even more motivated to finish.
hmm
Because he was always going to school. He was always learning. Um, he never stopped until he died.
Right.
He died going to school, and he was writing his he was writing. I know this interview is about me, but
No,
I
no,
have to
no.
mention
Go,
this
go,
part.
go, go, go. Tell me about your
Okay,
dad. Tell me about your dad. Tell me
okay,
about your father, man.
okay. Well, the part was he basically accomplished so much even though he was sick. He
Right.
had cancer. He had cancer. He was writing his dissertation for his doctorate degree,
Right.
and he lost use of his hands because what happened was there was a nurse that in a VA hospital in the Bronx. There was
Right.
a nurse that injected him with a needle and punctured one of his major nerves in his writing hand.
Jeez.
So imagine just using two fingers to type.
Right.
The rest of your hand is paralyzed.
Hmm.
You know,
I'm actually
and
just picturing that. That's yeah.
yeah, like you have no use of the rest of your body of your hand. Your right hand is gone. You know,
That's crazy.
and he almost finished to the point where he was almost done, and then he got sick and died. But he completed his journey. So he was always going to school. He never stopped,
Right.
even if he got sick. Even if
What
hmm
was his major? What was he doing and going for?
he was going for counseling, biblical and family counseling. He was already a practice. He was always he already started his own practice,
Right.
um, which he did counseling in at his house, but he
hmm
also did counseling. He also started what most people don't realize. He started a center called the Joshua Center in
hmm
Belvedere, Delaware.
Okay.
And the Joshua Center is still there.
So, what is the Joshua Center? What
The
do they
Joshua
do?
Center, the Joshua Center. Well, now there's a new owner now,
Mm.
but the Joshua Center is owned by the church, but now I think it's owned by the city now, and they run it. It helps people with counseling to find counseling, and also helps train people who want to be counselors.
Okay.
Yeah, so my dad helped started that,
Nice.
the founder. Yep.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome, bro.
he did a lot of things before his time was up, so
Yeah.
he accomplished a lot. Yeah, and plus he was a pastor in New York. He started Hilkiah Family Life Ministries, which was helping people in the projects in the ghetto, and helping them with like education and school, and he did a whole lot. It's like
Right.
he was writing a book. He wrote a chapter in the book with preachers and counselors.
hmm
But yeah, he was my inspiration to finish. So
That's good, man.
yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
So, graduating, great feeling,
yeah,
proud
yeah,
moment, show those
yeah,
teachers who
yeah,
didn't believe in you that, hey, not only did I graduate high school, I got
Yep.
my bachelor's degree, but
Yep.
what
hmm
happened? What did you go for after your bachelor's degree? What did you
I
go
went
for?
for I went for my master's. I'm still
Uh-huh.
working on that.
There
I'm
you
still
go.
working on it now.
There you go.
Yep, I'm still working on it now, and for my education, for education field.
Right.
So I want to go. I'm going back to school now and trying to get for my master's degree in education. So
Mm-hmm.
just to show you that all those teachers who doubted me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm an educator. Yeah,
Yep.
you
Yep.
know.
There you go,
Yeah.
man.
So yeah, man, I'm just excited to do more things and help people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I said, now my other half, she helps me out a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and I gotta mention her because
Yeah.
she definitely has motivated me to do better in my life.
Mm-hmm. So,
Her name,
well,
mhm.
uh-huh. Keep going. You're good.
Yeah, her name is Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany Burnett, and we have a child together,
Right.
children together, which
Children
is
together.
three of them, Nisha, Chloe, and Faith.
Nice.
So yeah,
So what is so tell me, what is that like being a father? Like when you first found out you was
hmm
having a child, what was that like? But also
yeah,
too,
hmm
when you when you hear or feel like, man, I'm a father, what does that
yeah,
mean to you? Like how does that change now your life, your world, from being like
man,
single, no like really responsibilities but yourself, to now not only do you have Tiffany, your significant other, but now you're raising a family. Like how is all that?
wow, it mind blows me, man. It blows my mind. It's like you ever, I guess the best thing, it's like a graduation and a surprise, like a
Mm,
surprise party at the same time. Like
right.
you don't know how to feel because it's amazing. It's you ever won the lottery? Well, it's like winning the lottery and a graduation at the same
Mm,
time. It's like where do I begin? But it's
right.
being a father is one of my biggest dreams. Ever since I was
Nice.
a teenager, I wanted to be a father. Not as a teenager, but I wanted to be a father when I'm an
Right.
adult and grown and done school,
Hmm.
which I am. But it blew my mind because it was a total surprise.
Right.
Out of nowhere, and it was a blessing in disguise because it helped me. It actually helped save my life because uh, I was going through some personal struggles,
Hmm.
uh, a little bit of depression sometimes because
Right.
I went through a lot of loss growing up
Hmm.
and seeing my father die and going through at age 21 and then not being able to express myself. It was hard.
Right.
Um, so I numbed myself to a lot of things.
Hmm.
But
Which
when I saw that I'm having a baby, and I got a call actually I remember the day. It was in January. It was the
hmm.
January 2nd, I believe. I got a call from Tiffany. She called me when I was at work. My
Right.
first day of orientation a year ago, and they were saying that she was like, yeah, I thought I was sick, but I'm pregnant. And I said, well, wait. Slow down, hold on. I said, hold on. I gotta sit down for this. I gotta sit down. I said, say that again. And she said, we are pregnant. I'm having a baby. I said, are you serious? I said, you're not joking with me. Are you really serious? And I couldn't believe it. And it was like this smile, like it was like Christmas time.
Mm.
It began to come on my face. And when I came back to orientation, everybody's looking at me. What's wrong? Like what? And my heart's beating fast. I had to catch my breath. I was hyperventilating. I had to get drink water. You know,
Right.
it was like I ran a marathon and I won. And
There
it was
you
like,
go, man.
wow, I'm a father. I really am a father right now.
Hmm.
and I couldn't believe it. It was surreal, and man, it's one of the best moments in my life. I'll never forget it.
Nice.
Best moments in life, and now I have a beautiful child who's one and
Mhm.
a half years old.
There you go.
It blows my mind looking at her because she looks like me,
Mhm.
and she looks like Tiffany too, but she looks like me too. So
Mhm.
it's like I helped create this. I didn't create it. I helped create this
Right.
because God made her beautiful.
Yeah.
You know.
Amen.
Yeah. 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 So it was amazing.
Mhm.
But fatherhood is different now because now I'm a real family. I have a family,
Right.
and my single days of going out are over pretty much. Like going out to clubs and
Mhm.
I didn't go out to clubs a lot. I just went out to bars every once in a while and hang out with friends,
Right.
casually dating. That was I hated doing that anyway. But
Mhm.
I wanted to settle down anyway and find a family,
Mhm.
a wife, kids. Um,
Mhm.
it was just something I always wanted, you know.
Right.
And I didn't want to be too old to have kids either, being
True.
old and 60, 50 years old having a child. That's too old for me.
Yeah.
So I'm at a good age.
There you go,
And everything
man.
happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Mhm.
Yeah,
True. True.
yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
being a father, what does family now mean to you? Like now, what does
Uh,
family mean to you?
family, family means everything to me. I feel like it's changed me, made me more of a sensitive person.
Mhm.
It brought my fatherhood, like the fatherhood feelings back. Like I was an uncle before. Being an uncle is different from being a father.
True.
Um, it's not the same. Um, it's just that natural tendency to protect your children is
Right.
there. The natural ability to provide
Mhm.
is there. Being a father is a provider and protector.
Right.
Um, like all times. Like I'm always asking, what did Faith eat today? I'm always asking every day, what is she doing? Because when I'm at work, I don't really see her.
Right.
So I have to figure out. I'm wondering how she eating, is she walking, is she talking, what's her development? I'm very involved. So even
Mhm.
when I'm not there, I'm involved. So it's a blessing. It's a blessing, man, in disguise, and it's taught me a lot. It made me grow up fast. It made me grow up in my mind because I was always a kid at heart, but
Right.
it made me grow up. Like it makes you grow up, like
Mhm.
in the way you think, not always doing for you. You're doing for others.
That's true.
So yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
It's good. Hmm.
So, all girls, right? All girls, right?
All girls. Yep,
All
all girls.
girls. All
I thought it was gonna
girls.
be a boy. Yeah,
Uh,
man.
so,
A lot of
so wait.
work.
So you mentioned Faith, your first
Hmm.
daughter. Now, how before having Faith,
Hmm.
Tiffany has her own children, right?
Yes.
So
Yep.
how did that come about? Like how did you transition to like, okay, I'm I'm accepting your children kind of like
Yeah.
as my own. Like how does that come about?
Oh well, I felt like it was natural
Mm,
interaction with them because at first, the oldest daughter, she was I think she was 10 when I met her or 11. She was 11 when I met her,
mm-hmm,
and at first she was leery about me. She was like, "Oh, I don't know who is he. I know
mm,
this is my mom's friend, but who is he?
right.
And I introduced myself as Mr. Nate
Mm,
Davis or Mr. Dave. It's weird because going into a blended family is a blessing. At
right.
the same time, you have to get to know that child. You can't just jump into a relationship with that child. You have to get to know that child. So
Right.
it takes time.
Mm,
It takes patience.
right.
It wasn't smooth sailing all the way. because there's some bumps in the road because of upbringing differences and raising children, differences of parenting differences.
Right.
Um, like she grew up a different way than I grew up, but the way Tiffany, we both agreed on one thing. We both always agreed on was raising our children in church and
Right.
teaching them values and core values that we believed in, like
Mm-hmm.
giving to the less fortunate, helping
Right.
those in need, giving back to the community,
Mm-hmm.
and treating people the way you want to be treated. We believe in those things. Like I said, there were some bumps in the road, but now I think we're in a good place.
Right.
Understanding the baby girl, the other girl, Chloe,
Mm-hmm.
she's 5. I love her to death. She off the back, she called me daddy. I was like, wow.
Uh,
I was like, okay. But
mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed being around them, and it was like playful, playing all the time. I was very playful with them. Went out
Right.
to the park, went out to the movies a couple of times. We just had good times. Just get to know them, what they like, what
Right.
they're into, playing tea party, playing basketball, doing TikTok, the app thing
Mm-hmm.
on, there's this thing where you can dance and like, it's sort of like lip sync, lip
Yep.
syncing. You can dance to music and make music
Mm-hmm.
videos, and it's kind of cool.
Right.
So I learned what they like. I learned what they're into, and like I said, like I said, it wasn't always easy, but now it's easier than it was. So I got a chance to get to know them,
Right.
and I
Nice.
respect them. So and they're
Nice.
like my kids. They are my kids. So
Nice. So I'm
yep.
gonna leave you with one more final question, man.
Sure.
Um, Before we wrap up. So one more final
Okay.
question, and that is gonna be on
Mhm.
family, but more so on daughters. How would
Mhm.
you raise your how would how would you raise your daughters to see
Mhm.
what a man should truly be like? How would
Wow.
you show them? How would you raise them to see what a man should be like?
Mm. That is a good question. And I'm gonna take my time with this one. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, how would I raise my daughters to know what a good man looks like?
Mhm.
Is that what you're asking? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, take for example, the best example I had in my life was my father. You know,
Right.
the way a man's supposed to treat you is a man is supposed to treat you like a queen
Mhm.
for who you really are. I got a call coming in, but a man is supposed to treat you like a queen, like who you really are.
Right.
And if he doesn't treat you with the respect, like open a door for you or calling you by your name, and respecting your body, because
Mhm.
as a woman nowadays, it's hard out here. I know it's hard for women to gain the respect, especially in today's society. For men they're looked at as sex objects, and they're looked at as objectively. They're looked in different ways, not respected.
Right.
I want a woman. I want my daughters to realize what a man is supposed to be. A man is
Right.
supposed to be a protector, a nurturer, a provider, and a confidant, a person who is a partner.
Right.
Um, not working against each other. Like the triangle effect is man, woman, and then God.
Mhm.
So the man is supposed to be on the same level as a woman, but their relationship is supposed to point directly in a triangle towards God.
Mhm.
That's how I look at it. And if that relationship's not pointing towards God, then there is no relationship.
Right.
You know, because I feel like everything's supposed to point towards God directly up,
Mhm.
not the opposite down. If a man puts you down and puts his hands on you or talks to you in any kind of way that's negative,
Mm.
You don't need that in your life.
Right.
And so you need to cut that person off.
Right.
And that's why I want them to know who I am. So I'm the example that what they should have.
Right.
Not like me, not just like me, but I want them to be an example to how to treat a woman.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah, and then that's what my dad was an example to me. So I'm gonna be an example to my girls,
There
regardless.
you go, man. There you go.
Yeah.
Following the footprints, man.
Amen.
Awesome.
Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you very much for your time, Nate. Um,
Absolutely.
thank you
Great.
again. Awesome. Well,
Yes. Yes,
have
sir.
a have a good time. And
Yes.
talk to you later, bro.
Talk to you later. Thank you, Errol, for having me
All
on
right.
the show, and I appreciate you. What you're doing is great.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
All right. Take care.
You too.